you go, Doctor Who. And if you don't, then you can go.
Right, guys, watching Go.2, and today we're going to be talking about my favourite Sarah Jane episodes. We have 7, so let's just get on to them. At 7th place now is, let me just check my vote, the Vault of Sakura. I can't say it. The Vault, you know the one, I'll put an image on the screen anyway, of basically Skoldak, I think, is a shapeshifter that goes into people's bodies, and he's just after to save his planet, but doing so will destroy Earth, and we have Men in Black and them chasing him. That story, I really enjoy that story. I think it's a fun one, and it's an interesting one, and I just love shapeshifters so much, so I think it shows it off pretty well, and it shows off the mad conspiracy people as well. That's an interesting way to go down. So yeah, that's got to be at 7th place. At 6th place, it is Death to the Doctor. I really enjoy this story. It's got to be on the list just because it's got Joe Grant and Matt Smith as the 11th Doctor. I mean, whew, I love it. I love Joe Grant talking about her time on the show. And I love Joe Grant and Sarah Jane reacting to each other. And Sarah Jane believing the Doctor's not dead. No, I'm not believing it. And Unit, yet again, getting infiltrated. You know, there's a bad guy behind Unit and getting taken over. A bit like Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. at this point. And then we've also got the Doctor himself interacting with... a new Doctor interacting with the companions is brilliant. And yeah, I just love it. And the kids were brilliant. They all had something to do, and the grass, well, the blue grass, which I forgot the name on, Glom, whatever. The blue grass were a really good add-on, and the villains were actually alright. So yeah, they've got to be on the list. So Death to the Doctor at 6th place. At 5th place now we have Enemy of the Bane. I really enjoy this story. It's a fun one. It's interesting, and yeah, I just keep enjoying it every time I rewatch it, really. At 4th place is Goodbye Sarah Jane. Now this one has I really find it a nice and respectful way of doing dementia in a way, and Sarah Jane losing her memory, but also getting fed on by Ruby, and Ruby taking over Sarah Jane's life. I think it really was a brilliant finale, and I think it was a one that I think gets overlooked a bit too much, I reckon, and I really enjoy it, so it's got to be on the list for me. At 3rd place now we have The Lost Boy. Mr. Smith has turned bad. We have Sladen. We have Luke basically being abducted by Sarah Jane, and it turns out not, and then the police, and it's just a big story, and I think they do the lost, stolen child quite well. And it shows kids what the parents actually go through as well and stuff like that. But also the big twists of Mr. Smith being a bad guy, Clyde getting taken and stuff like that. It's just really good, really. At 2nd place is Prisoner of the Shadoon. Yet again, a shapeshifter story with the same shapeshifter. I love shapeshifters. And seeing him again, but this time he's escaped the Shadoon and he's basically causing mayhem and wants to escape. He wants to use the nanogenes to build a spaceship, and he goes into Sarah Jane's body and uses her, and so we get to see Elisabeth Sladen playing a bad guy, which is brilliant, and I bet she enjoyed doing that. And the Shadoon were incredible. They are really good villains. Well, they're not even villains in this. They're helping, but they've also got scenes where a Shadoon is in a police car and telling someone to turn their music down. It's hilarious and funny, and yet again, everyone has something to do, and it's just a barrel of laughs, and that's why I enjoy watching it so much. So it's got to be at 2nd place. And at 1st place, we have The Nightmare Man. I really enjoy this story. I think after rewatching it, I'm surprised that it is at 1st place, but I really do love it. That he's slowly taken over Luke's body, and then he takes over, and then he goes into Clyde, and he goes into Rani, and we get to see their nightmares of Clyde just wanting to do something with his life, and if he doesn't, he thinks he's just going to work in a shop, and Sarah Jane's going to judge him and stuff like that. I think that's his personal nightmare, really. And then we have Rani doing her dream job as a reporter, but doing the worst thing she could ever do as a reporter, and report Sarah Jane Smith to the world, and that was such a big thing. And then we have Sarah Jane having her own nightmare, being left alone again, and the Nightmare Man using that to his advantage and taking over was brilliant until they all come together to defeat him. And I think it works quite well, and it's something I don't think can ever be done again in that way of capacity. I really enjoy it, and it's got to be at first place. And there we go. There's my 7 favourite Sarah Jane stories of all time. I'm going to do my least favourite, and just to let you know, my least favourite Sarah Jane stories, there's only 2, which shows how good Sarah Jane was and its success. So join me next week for a shorter video and talking about the 2 Sarah Jane Adventures stories I don't like. And pretty much if there's only 2, you can certainly say Sarah Jane was a success. And then we join me for my favourite villains from the Sarah Jane Adventures, and yeah, then we go on to the last thing we're talking about Sarah Jane Adventures, which is going to be an interesting one, so stick around for that. Thank you guys for watching. Don't comment, rate, subscribe, and I'll see you guys for another video very soon. Have a nice day.